Hello there, it's Al here from MBX. Welcome to you all locally and from across the planet. Today I'm talking to you about dying to live and living to die. There is a difference there. Some people that you know and I know many people are actually dying to live. And I also know people that are living just to die. And really the subject matter is the two polarities. They are one and the other, negative and positive, I suppose you could call that. But we just got to get to the stage where we're just dying to live. I think so anyway, I hope you do too. I've taken a few notes here, so you'll forgive me for looking over into the side there. But look, we've lost a great icon here in Australia, and you've probably heard about this. If you haven't, well, you're not watching the news. It's everywhere. Olivia Newton-John. She comes from an era where the scene was starting. The famous movie Grease, and all of the hit singles that she had are a legacy to her. Not only that, all the things that she started after that, the Olivia Newton-John Foundation, which helped people with cancers of all types, breast cancers, etc., etc. Her legacy will live on. I can remember her, and I just can remember one. This is what I've got on my flowchart here. I can remember one. She had an enthusiasm for life. She found a way to live, even through all those problems that she had physically, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. She found a way to live and can keep contributing to her life and to us. So for that special person, we do miss her terribly, but she's taught us an awful lot. This is what I'd like to talk to you about today. What did she have? Well, I just think she had an enthusiasm. She had an enthusiasm which is unparalleled. I can even remember the enthusiasm when I was watching her in Greece. It was just infectious. And when she was singing those incredible songs of those times, once again, terribly infectious. She had an enthusiasm for life. And you know what? That, I think, came from her gratitude for life. She had a gratitude for the abundance around her, not just the financial things and the materialistic things, but she had a gratitude for being here and living. And that's something which is not most common. People have a gratitude for financial things and materialistic things. She seemed to have a gratitude for life. And those people that I know that are dying to live seemingly have this gratitude also. So that's the first thing we need to remember from our discussion together today. This gratitude. Gratitude for the air that we breathe, for the sun that's shining, even when it's raining. In Melbourne today here, it's cold. Have a gratitude for the cold, because without the cold we can't know the heat. I was in Thailand in April, and I'm telling you, I had the opposite polarity, and it was very hot, so I've got a gratitude for the cold. These are the things that we need to remember from these people that have passed and these people that are still living. They seem to have an enthusiasm which brings a purpose into their life. Their purpose is unparalleled then. They've got purpose in life with gratitude, and of course they're going to go after their purpose, and they're just feeling alive. I think that was even one of the songs, wasn't it? Feeling Alive. I can't remember the exact title, but you see, these are the things that can be unleashed from enthusiasm, which brings us to persistence. I'm sure that, we can't really find our purpose without persistence. I don't know of any other way. If I did, I'd be trying to talk about it with you now. I don't think I know another way to find our purpose. We have to persist. This persistence at working your truth. Find out what our truth is. Is it making money? Or is it more than that? I think it's more than that. I think it's more than finding your truth and doing it very well, which of course brings the materialistic things later on, but that's not your focus. It's actually persisting at your truth, which brings a discipline. I speak of discipline a lot, nearly every week. Discipline is an extension of persistence, and with that discipline, you'll become something like Olivia Newton-John became. She was extremely disciplined in her life. She had to be to do all the things that she did. Her beliefs and her passion for life would have been wound up in discipline. This brings a motivation, and I speak a lot to people that seek out people like me about motivation. They want me to motivate them. Well, you know what? I can motivate them briefly to even sort of almost run through a brick wall, but that energy's burned out very quickly. So that doesn't really last us for what we're talking about, which is life. We've got to get the motivation from within, and without the enthusiasm and the persistence and the discipline, you're not going to really get to motivation. Motivation, once you start to do things very well, which you will with discipline, I guarantee it, you'll have motivation. It'll be just flowing everywhere. At my stage in life, my motivation seems to be increasing. And that's because I've got all of the things that I've already spoken about, only because I've been here for so long doing it, I suppose. And then to live naturally, I've got the next little thing. To live naturally here is an absolute essential. To live naturally means to be conscious. How can you live naturally if you're not conscious? If you're not conscious of what's actually happening? How can you be conscious of nature? Nature is supplying us energy. Nature's not saying, I'll give you energy to this species and not that species. Nature is unconditional. It's giving us energy to experience life. That's what can bring gratitude. To know that nature is expressing its energy with unconditional. And it has to be an unconditionality that we call the old catchphrase, unconditional love. And that brings us to the birth and the death and the life, which is a flowing state. The subject today is quite easy to look at, really, when you look at those words that I've just given you, the flow of life. We arrive, we have a birth, we have a life, and we have a death. Some of us, get into life and we dread the flow. We celebrate one end, which is the birth, and we get toward the other end, which is the death. And of course, we're starting to get really, really upset about that death. We think it's nihilism. We think we won't be here until we understand the nature of reality, that everything comes from this flow state of previous to birth, life, and after death. It's all a continuous cycle. Do you know that every cell in your body every day is continually coming into existence and replacing one that's gone out? So that's the flow of life, what I'm talking about. That's the abundance of life, energy coming in, energy going out, energy coming in to make into matter form, energy going out again. This is the flow of life. And I'm sure that Olivia would have known of this because of her foundation. These are the things that we all need to know about. Look, dying to live, I am. I'm not just living to die. It's a given that I will die one day and I'll go back to my formless state. At this stage, I'm in my form. Everything comes from the formless state and goes into form, back to formless state. That's the cycle of life. That's the flow of life. And if we can get into this state of this moment by moment, I keep saying this every week, moment by moment, get our attention to the truth. We've got to find our truth. I said that earlier. If we find our truth, we will be only in one place where truth exists, and that's now. If we can get our attention into the now, of course, all this flowing will continue. But that doesn't mean that we don't have memories. To the contrary. It doesn't mean that we're not centered in the present moment. To the contrary. It doesn't mean that we have imagination. Of course we have all these things, but it means we're centered in the nowness of it. Everything, memory, what's happening presently, and what's going to happen in the future. When it's all happening is now. The whole lot is happening now. When I remember, I'm doing it now. As I'm speaking to you I'm doing it now. If I was to imagine you here and sitting in front of me, I'd be doing it now. Everything is happening now. So the birth, life and death is all happening now. That's the reality of that. That's what I'm saying to you every week. So there is a flow chart here. If you'd like to take notes here, please do. First of all, you've got a choice. You've got a choice to either dying to live, or living to die. It's your choice. I can't force you. I'm dying to live, and I'm going to make sure that I'm very present and I'm in the present moment of all this living. And this is just the most spectacular opportunity, so I've got great gratitude for that. So there's that choice. Then there's the attention needed, which brings us to the concentration that goes with attention. Have attention on the present moment. Give concentration to the present moment, even if you are remembering, even what you're doing currently. If you are imagining, give your attention to that, total attention. Don't live as though you are an imagination. Don't live as though you are a memory. give attention to the nowness that all of it, whether it's memory, whether it's happening with what we're doing currently, or whether it's imagining what we'll do tomorrow, it's all happening now. Whenever we do it, it's happening now. Then the actions and the manifestation. We have to give total attention to the actions. If we take our eye off the ball on the tennis court, you're going to miss the ball. We don't take our eye off the ball, we keep our attention on the action. And we then give our attention to the manifestation that's come from that. Life is a continual chance to manifest. How glorious is this? Continuously going on and on and on. And then I put a post on LinkedIn yesterday, which I simply called Start Again. I've used that term a lot in my own life, and I've used it with sporting teams with varying success, some spectacular, some not so. After everything, we need to start this again. Everything starts and ends. Once it's ended, doesn't mean that's the end of our attention. We start again. Just tell yourself, I've done this so many times and I'm continuing to do it. Start again, Al. Start again, Al. It's not a one-stop. This is life we're talking about. I'm dying to live to start again. This is our practice. Practice, practice, practice. That's all I'm going to talk about today on dying to live and living to die. It's your choice. If you'd like me to give you any further tips on this type of thing, you're most welcome. All you've got to do is go to the comment section, and I promise you I'll get back to you after this is finished today. I always do, but before you go, I've got to remind you, I'm going to remind you about this. Why haven't you joined us yet? How come you haven't joined MBX Elite Plus membership? It's very inexpensive, and all the programs we've got, which is 10 and growing, and there's many areas we're moving into. Plus we can do all these type of things which I'm presenting to you today for the members as well. There's so many benefits, all for the cost of coffee and cake per month. All you need to do is go onto MBX website, mindbodyextra.com.au. The extra has no E, and it's so easy. And I guarantee you're going to love what's coming up with us. We've got interviews with famous people. We've got all of these things that I'm currently doing with you, plus personal sessions that I can actually set up for you, all these things for you members. It's not hard to do. www.mindbodyextra.com.au, that's all you need to do. Plus soon, for your benefit, we've got our own YouTube channel. We just need you to subscribe though, it's free. And all of what we're doing, all of these recordings that I've done and others will be available to you on YouTube, free. So there's much to look forward to. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you soon. Oh, by the way, I'll just read out what's coming before I do. I'm not going just yet, so you haven't got rid of me yet. That was Dying to Live, Living to Die. And next week, it's 10:15 to 10:30 on the 17th of August. These are all Melbourne times. Live meditation with me. This is though whilst moving. I was going to pre-record this, but I've decided to do it live. Okay, so that's probably a good one for you to actually come along and see how we move the presence into movement. So that's something for you to look forward to next week. The following week, on the 4th of August, I should say, it's deep excellence. I've spoken about this principle deep before, and we'll go over that on the 24th of August, 10:20, 10:30, once again on a Wednesday. The following week, this may be recorded because I'm going up to Brisbane for a couple of weeks, so I may be pre-recording this plus the following week. This is the 31st of August, once again, 10 a.m. to 10:15. I want you to have a meditation with me on personal and world peace. How would that be, eh? If we can't have world peace until we're all personally peaceful. So that's that day on the 31st of August. The next one may be pre-recorded as well. The 7th of September, 10 a.m. to 10:10 a.m., 10:20 a.m., 10:10 a.m. How to build confidence. How to build confidence. This is misunderstood. It's not that hard. I'll talk about that then. Following week, forgiveness of self and others. This will be live on the 14th of September, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. And the following week on Wednesday, the 21st of September, 10 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Who are you? This is the famous question that we'll ask together. Who actually are you? We'll find out then. That's all for now. Great to see you all. See you next week. Bye for now.